Anybody got a prescription, yeah, for this love pain? Anybody got a pill like a Bible?
Come on in and have a seat. Let's take a ride on All the Way Live. The Love Byrds. Of course, I am one half of your dynamic duo. I go by the name of Dr. James Byrd. And as always with me, my ride or live, that don't rhyme, but she's not dying on me. The lovely and talented and beautiful anointed. And she goes by the name of
Dr. Angel Byrd.
And together we are
the Love
Byrds. And it's, of course, always a pleasure to be with you on Friday night when we talk about one of our favorite subjects in the world, marriage, on All the Way Live with the Love Byrds. So come on in. And you know what we say? We say it every week. Since this is live on Facebook, go on and share it. Share it to your page, share it with some friends. Don't be selfish with this free marriage advice, material, whatever you want to call it. And I do want to say thank you to all those that watch and when we see you or you text us or you call us or when we see you in person, you give us feedback and tell us how much you love the show, the information, the material that we present. Young couples, older couples, premarital couples, everybody's watching it, and we're glad we're able to make a reach to such a vast audience. So go ahead and say hello and tell me what's on your heart today before we get into the material.
What's on my heart today? Everything's on my heart today. I'm just patiently waiting for this new normal to be normal, because every day we get something new. And so I'm grateful. I still have my joy, and I pray after this show you will as well, and that we can find something good in this moment in time and in history to be able to still love God for and to appreciate and be thankful for. So that's one of the things I've been thinking about.
Well, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have a wife that loves me and whom I love, that I have children that love me, whom I love. I have a community that loves me, who I love, and I got health in my body, protection. You know what? Yeah, I could get down sometimes with the new norms of, you know, the wearing a mask and social distancing and things like that for a projected period of time, however long this is going to be. But I just choose to say, you know, not to focus on the negative and make myself focus on the positive things. And I get to wake up and see this woman every day and have meaningful life together and wonderful communication and talk about any and everything. I just love that. And so this is another great part of our week where we get to share what's on our hearts and share this advice and information. So let me get her going here and you take over for a second. You want to talk about the reminder, the top three we talked about, start there and roll down, and then we'll go into number 4.
Alrighty. So the first one we talked about last week was the financial struggle. And hopefully you have time to meditate on that and to think about that and how to become one in your family with that, because that is one of the number one things that destroy some of our marriages. And then the second one will be the challenges of children. Unfortunately, ours is all grown and gone, so we haven't had to deal with them being shut in with us and little kids running around. So I pray for every parent and mother that do. And so that's something that I pray that you guys were able to sit down, think about, and come up with new creative ideas for that. And then the other one is immaturity. And we talked about that a lot last week. So we got to be able to grow up, and you can't grow up in and of yourself. You need tools, you need things to help your mind develop and mature. If not, it'll stay the same. That's why we see 60-year-old people and 70-year-old people, and you're like, can you believe they're still doing that? Yes, you can. You can. We're not lying.
All right, here you go.
Okay. And so that's where we're at with that. So hopefully I hit those 3 for you.
All right. So again, we're talking about 10 marital hardships and how to overcome them. So this week we're going to pick up where we left off, and we're at number 4. Everybody say number 4. If you with me, give me 4 thumbs up, and we can go on to number 4. Give me 4 hearts. Give me 4 smiley faces. I don't know what's all on the bottom of those things. Give me 4 somethings, and we'll go to number 4. All right. Number 4 is unfaithfulness. Unfaithfulness, and unfortunately, marriages run into these type of hardships, often. And when we talk about unfaithfulness, of course, the number one thing that comes to mind is, infidelity. When someone is cheated on the spouse. Of course, whenever we talk about unfaithfulness, we talk about both. We talk about unfaithfulness and actual physically somebody is cheated on their spouse, but also emotionally, that someone is connected, giving their heart to someone else that in a way that it only should be to your spouse. So which one you want to start with, and we'll go down this road of unfaithfulness.
Let's talk about
since you've just been watching celebrity unfaithfulness.
They don't count because they don't know Jesus. But let's talk about giving your heart but still home and have never actually had that whole physical act with someone.
Yes.
Oh, you were saying.
I was giving you a choice to which one.
Oh, okay. And so for a woman, I believe that one is probably, because I know some people like, no, he was with another woman, but he cannot be with another woman, or she can be not with another man. But if someone else has your spouse's heart, then that to me is like everything. Because they are there and they are existing with you, but if their heart belongs to somebody else, they could never give you all of them. You can never reap the benefits that you're supposed to be reaping in a marriage to become one. Because in all actuality, they're really one with somebody else.
They don't even really want to be with you.
Yes.
They're probably trying to figure out in their mind, how can they get away with it. When they're with you, they're thinking about them.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about how can they get away from you to go get with them.
Yeah.
So everything is all about that other person that has their heart. As opposed to, and we're not talking about as opposed to someone who's cheated physically and that person has their heart. We're talking about someone who's just done something with somebody, but they don't care about that person. There's no connection. They were just stupid, got drunk, whatever, just did some foolishness that they shouldn't be done, but they don't really care about that person. They might be heartbroken that they even done it.
Yeah.
That's different than what you're talking about when even if you haven't done the act, but you're thinking about it, you're probably visualizing it, and heaven forbid if you get physically with the person that you're married to and you're thinking about them or someone else.
Either way, it's jacked up. But like you said, somebody go there somewhere, it happens, they are devastated, they want help, they want counseling, all that kind of stuff. The person who's giving their heart away, they don't think anything's wrong with them, and they don't think they need no help. Yeah. They're not trying to get counseling because they feel like it's okay to feel like this. Yeah. And so that's the part that makes it.
How can you feel like it's okay to feel like that? I think it's one of the, some people think that they don't have control over their feelings, so they think that, you know what, this is just what happened and I can't control it, and that's who I fell in love with now, and I fell out of love with them and I can't control it. Some people feel like that. I mean, what do you say to a person what do you say to a person that is, they may watch this, or somebody may share it with them, and they're in that position, they like, okay, I hear what you're saying, and something tells me that I know I'm not right. I made a commitment to my wife and my family, and now I have a family, but man, I'm in love with this person. I feel like this is all the person I want to be with. I think maybe I made a mistake in marrying this person. When they're feeling like that and they're saying all these things and convincing them all these things, well, what do you say to a person like that?
Well, since we do biblical counseling, faith-based counseling, most of the people we're talking to are people who say they believe in God. And so my question would be, when they come to us, how did you get in that situation to begin? Because as a believer, how do you look at someone else and say, I know I shouldn't love two people, and I know I shouldn't do this, but what did you do to put yourself in that position, and what scriptures did you violate along the way?
And unfortunately, so many people in that position will unfortunately blame their spouse.
Yes. Yeah.
She don't do this or he don't do this, and blame them that they're the reason why I turned from them and now I've opened my heart to someone else.
Yeah.
They just kept hurting me over and over and over and over again, and so that's the foolishness that we will say that people will go to.
And then this is the other thing that people who say that they're Christians and go to church, they believe they're starting to adopt the principles of the world when it comes to separation. They separate and date other people, and I'm like, okay, where they do that at? You know, it's like
in the world.
Yeah, so make me understand, who team are you on?
Right.
That you can feel like, because we've been separated for this long period of time, that it's okay now for me to start seeing people and have friends. That's what we want to say. We're just good friends. You already are being set up, and you already getting ready to get into a place. Even if your spouse is the one who messed up and did it, and now you feel that you have a right, now you both will be in a situation.
Right.
And it's like, let's stop being so deceived and allowing our thought lives to just take us out of the will of God, because that's exactly what's happening in those situations.
Absolutely. You didn't ask me what do I say to a person who's thinking like that or feeling like that.
So you trying to tell me what to think? No,
I'm not trying to tell you what to think.
What you saying?
I said you didn't ask me what do I say to a person. You know, I asked you what do you say to a person that thinks
So
like
you want
that
me to
or
do
whatever.
what
I said you didn't ask me what do I think.
So what would you think? What would you think?
What would I think?
What do you think? Is that what you're asking?
Or what do I say to him?
What would you say to
that
him?
thinks like that?
Yeah.
I'd say, come here. Then I grab him by his shirt collar.
See,
And I go,
I knew you were going to do something crazy.
wake up! Wake up! And after I slap the snot out of him and shake him and wake him up, then I'll pray for him and cast that foul demon out of him.
Okay, so that's why I didn't ask him, because I already know him, and so yeah.
So also unfaithful. We're not done with unfaithfulness.
No.
Also with unfaithfulness comes you being unfaithful in your time. What do we say to those people that they're married and they have a family, but they're unfaithful in their time? Meaning that okay, we spend all this time at work, and then we have the things that we have to do with for the children, and then maybe outside of that, then I go and I play golf 3 times a week, or I play 3 or 4 hours of Call of Duty on my video game, every day. Or maybe the wife, she's always going with her girlfriends, always on the phone with her girlfriends, always on social media or whatever. And so then for them as a married couple, on each day, one-on-one intimately, they really only have 10 or 15 minutes,
In that
to
relationship.
themselves.
And so people ask themselves questions, or when they get to the point when it finally breaks, or they show up to our office or whatever, when we reveal to them that whatever you don't spend time with, you can't keep or develop a relationship with. And people think because they live together that they are developing relationships. You can live with somebody for your whole life and never develop an intimate relationship with them, based on conversating, time spent, creating memories, activities, all those type of things. And if those are non-existent, then you're really not building a relationship. You basically have an agreement. We have these children, we walk down the aisle, and we are married because that's what we did, but our family is not functioning like we're this union that God has put together. And so God never told any of us not to develop the family. But we think we're supposed to develop on a job and develop in all these other things, and for the sake of the family. And we are looking at the state of the world today, and that is one of the number one reasons that we have this mess in this world. I'm not talking about the race, the hate. Yes, guess what? Parents made them kids hate, and then they had some kids and made them hate. So it's all coming from the family.
Yeah.
And so it's no different in a marriage family if there's no time spent, if there's no that intimacy, and intimacy with us doesn't mean sex. It means developing a
It doesn't
friendship.
mean only sex.
Okay, only sex. And so you have to be able to develop this thing, this friendship, this thing, to be able to grow a family. And it's not happening. Children are raising themselves. Children are home alone. It's like parents are working 2 and 3 jobs because they think they need to. Think about that. They have to, for what reason? Because if you, as 2 parents, just play like there's 2 parents in the home, and both of you are working 2 jobs. Tell me what you're trying to get to sacrifice your family for it.
Right.
I mean, make me understand, because what you're gonna do is look up and it's gonna be too late. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's good. Very good points. They're very good points. Also, we get unfaithful with our attention. I remember, when I was young in marriage, and I thought that I could listen to you while I'm still watching basketball or football or something like that, and you would talk, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I'm still watching the game, and that's being unfaithful with your attention, because I'm saying or what you're saying is that what I'm watching or what I'm looking at, entertainment-wise, is more important than you and whatever it is that you got to say to me.
Absolutely.
So I'm not talking about when you're at work.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about when you're in prayer. I'm not talking when you're studying the word or something, but I'm talking about you're doing leisure time. You're just in social media, or you're watching TV, you're watching the game. I mean, it's not the Super Bowl. It's not Pat Mahomes. It's, it's not that. You're just watching TV, and you're watching Pastor Cut.
Right.
but you know what I'm saying. I'm playing with that. Because I shouldn't have to mention that, because if Pat Mahomes is on in the Super Bowl, she should be watching and paying attention to it as well.
Yeah, like one of Stacy that's watching, she said she doesn't agree with separation because it causes you to explore, and different things like that.
That's good, Stacy.
That's really good. But the only time that I think a couple should separate if there's violence and abuse in the home,
right,
to protect your life.
Separate with the intention of that person getting help.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Great point. Thank you, Stacy, for chiming in. Great point with that. Also, this kind of goes with time, but we can be unfaithful in our priorities.
Yeah.
One of my mentors, he said, whatever he said, let me see your calendar and your checkbook, and I can tell you what you care about, what's important to you. Meaning, whatever you spend your time and your money on, that's what's most important to you. So to you, if you're a married couple, and married couples come to us all the time, and they say, I love my wife, or I love my husband, I'm committed to this marriage, I want to stay together, I'm committed to my family, I want to stay together. And then you start looking at your time, your attention, what you spend your money on, or meaning outside of the necessities, what you spend your money on, things like that, and it has nothing to do with your family. It has nothing to do with your wife. You're not spending time together with her. There's even when you're watching TV in the home, you're watching it in separate rooms and watching different things. You're not even watching the same thing together. You're not even enjoying a movie together. You're not doing date nights when people were doing date nights. Some people are back doing date nights, but you see what I'm saying? You're not doing stuff together. It's not a priority. But you make priorities for
the things you
enjoy, and with the people you enjoy
doing it with.
Bowling on Monday nights, and golf. Putting my headsets on and my microphone and my streaming with. I'm playing this video game with 4 other people in 4 different states, and I'm staying connected to them, and I'm paying attention to them, and I'm saying this because, and I keep talking about these video games, not because I play video games, but I've heard this now from a lot of different men. And most of the men that are prosperous, and I'm talking about not because you hit the gene pool on sports, so you got $500 million because you're a football player, basketball player. So I'm not talking about that. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that have worked.
Pat Mahomes is his other lover.
No, I'm not talking about Pat Mahomes. I'm talking about any professional athlete. LeBron James.
He don't even want to just
baseball player.
Whatever.
Yeah, he just recently signed a big paycheck, so his name is out there floating in the media. But I don't care what sport you play, you're a professional athlete, you hit the jackpot lottery. A lot of times those guys have all this money and they don't have nothing to do with a lot of their time, especially off season. So they sit around and play video games. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the average Joe professional guy who's married, has a family, and works or does something that has. If you find successful men in this arena, when I say successful, they're successful financially. With their marriage is successful, their family is successful, the things that they're involved in are successful. They don't play games like that. They don't play video games.
Where's the time for it?
They don't. And here's the thing: most of them used to.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard. I even heard one that many of you may know, especially a lot of men. Well, men and women follow E.T., the hip hop preacher. People now calling him almost the new modern day Martin Luther King because he's a preacher and he's a public speaker or whatever. And I didn't know this about him. He's like the #1 public speaker in the world now, and financially he's set. Man, he's on point with his marriage and his family. I mean, he's on top of the game now. But do you know that back in the day, earlier in his marriage, his wife would come home from work and he'd be sitting there still playing video games? And she'd have to get light into him until one time eventually got him so mad how she would talk to him that he finally got up off his rusty dusty and decided to start doing something about it. And now he could afford to play some video games if he wanted to, but he's like, those video games didn't help my marriage get better. They didn't help my family get better. They didn't help my pockets get fat. No. You see what I'm saying? And so that's another way you can be unfaithful in your priorities. Is your wife? Don't just say your wife is a priority. Don't just say your husband is a priority. Show me. You know what I'm saying?
Show
what
me
stage is
the relationship?
The relationship. Oh, come on, babe. I like that. Show me the relationship. Look at Barbara. She's picking up off of me.
Whatever.
You got
I'm cold just by myself.
You cold just by yourself? All right. I like that. Show me the relationship. So all these ways. Actually, y'all give her some thumbs up and some hearts and some love for that one. That's a really good one. That's something I would have loved to do. And so the way we spend our resources, we're unfaithful, all these different things, we're unfaithful in these things. And we talked about it when we talked about before, when we talk about money, when we keep our money apart from each other, we don't tell each other what we make, we keep secret stashes, and we struggle financially even as a result of doing that.
It's like, why are you hurting the marriage?
Come on.
It's like you signed up to be in this marriage with this person, you hide your money, stuff can get cut off, you know it, but it's your money, so you ain't gonna pay. I'm like, make me understand, why are you hurting the marriage? It doesn't even make natural sense to me that we get in these marriages and then punish and harm each other and do things like this is a stranger off the street.
And it's hurting you just as much as them.
I mean, because if the house foreclosed or you lose it, y'all both gotta move out. It's like something else is going on there.
You're getting late notices and stuff cut off and behind on things, and then are you just gonna point the finger at the other person and say, well,
you can't say they in the marriage.
It's us. I mean, it's one union.
Man, it's like something needs to happen in that situation, because it blows me away that you can purposely know that your spouse needs help. Say if he's the man and he's falling behind and he's short on something, but you got the means to change it and you won't.
That's selfish.
That is something else that's going on there. That you can be in the house and you guys can be living and you cannot support.
You can't tell me you love me.
No.
If you're doing something like that. You can't tell me you love me. Well, okay. So we hit unfaithfulness real good, real hard, or whatever. And so we'll do one more for today. All right. Guess what the fifth one is? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one is moving. Moving can be very stressful in relationships. Moving in a lot of different ways. There are people whose jobs cause them to move out of town. And so now the whole family first of all, you have those where first one person leaves and the rest of the family is back there while they're starting to start.
And some are gone 6 months or something like at a time before the family comes.
Never comes.
And it's like
school is going on, so you don't want to leave the kids.
And people never think about what that does to a family or what those kids are thinking and how things can become so unstable during that time.
Right.
And it's like, as adults, when you have children, teenager, I mean, not maybe a newborn or a 1 or 2 year old, but once they're able to understand what's happening, quit just doing stuff without conversating and giving them some insight.
Right.
Because what we do is create insecurities and fears in them because they don't know what's happening. It is okay. Old school and back in the day, all these secrets, nobody knew what was happening in the family. Secrets never help anyone. Never helps. And for you to keep secrets from your children, what are you trying to hide? What don't you want them to know? And I know back in the daytime, they kids and ain't none of their business. Well, if you about to move me across the country and I'm about to be taken away from all my friends, can you please tell me? Because it could cause trauma. It can cause some pain. If you were married or in a relationship and the daddy is just gone, don't think your children are okay. Because they can be thinking, when people show up to our office that we counsel, they're like, I don't know what I did for my daddy to leave. And I don't know what I did for him not to come back. So don't just assume because you're good and that you've moved on, that they moved on. That's their daddy, or that's their mama. And so we need to start, if you're not going to get them counseling, start counseling with them yourself and giving them information for them to feel safe and not have to wonder and let the enemy play with their thoughts. We need to really fix that.
Yeah, so as when we're talking about moving, we're not talking about necessarily the stress that's the potential stress that's just related with moving stuff. Like, if you're in a city and everything's going well and now you're getting ready to get blessed to move to a new home, you're going to buy a home or something, you're moving somewhere you want to move, that's an exciting time. That's a happy time. There's some stresses involved with it because you got money you got to spend, you got moving, you got all these things that go with. So there are some stresses there. And even in that, since we're talking about it, even in that, that's not, that's a time where if you're not careful, you can start biting each other's heads off.
Yeah.
And the stress of what's going on and the stress of moving and the decision making about what we're going to put where and what we're going to buy and here, what we're going to take, what we're going to leave, what we're going to keep, what's going to be new, especially if money's tight, things like that, then there adds stress to it. Or how about when you're moving down, when money got tight and now you can't afford where you were living and now you have to move down. Listen, let me tell you that. Let me speak to you because if you're in that situation and you're having to move downsize because maybe the money is not where it used to be, maybe somebody lost their job or something like that, man, that's definitely not a time to get at one another. That's the time to realize that, hey, we're being smart.
Yeah.
We're being wise. The worst thing we can do is be prideful and try to keep this home, keep this place where we're at, and struggle to keep it when...
For who?
Right, for the Joneses, for other people. No.
Yeah.
And, well, this is where my kids were. Listen, let's be real with the kids. Let's talk to the kids and say, listen, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. There was a job loss. We lost money, whatever. And it's not beneficial for us to keep this home right now. So we're going to have to find a lesser home. I mean, a home that costs less or something, move an apartment for a short time, whatever the case may be. If you talk to your kids, you'd be surprised at what they can understand and what they can be more willing to deal with than just doing it. And then all of a sudden, now they're left to deal with.
You teach them lessons along the way.
That's a good lesson.
You see what I'm saying?
Teach them that.
Hey, you don't ever want to live above your means.
Yes.
You never want to live that you will stress yourself out or harm your family.
Yes.
You're teaching them along the way, but we say that's adult stuff. No, you teach them how to become adults.
That might
along the way.
That might be the very lesson you teach your if this is you're in that choice. That might be the very lesson that you teach your kids that helps them prosper when they grow up and becomes adults. Because they learn this lesson in real life as a child that, listen, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm spending above my means.
Yeah.
That's a great, and because listen, most of America that struggles, most people that struggle is not because they don't make enough money to live, a decent life. Yeah. Most of it is because they live above their means.
Or don't budget, so they don't know what's budget.
So they're spending. So money's going all out, and they don't really have that they don't have a name for every dollar, as who says that? Dave Ramsey says that. Yeah, every dollar don't have a name.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, that moving can be an issue even when you're downsizing. Moving can be an issue when you're just moving. But then when stress causes a move, or job change, or state change, because now everybody has to leave their friends and their family.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That can be hard on an adult.
Oh, well, even an adult. They got to leave their church friends.
Yes.
They got to leave their community.
Yeah.
And the people that they used to hang with. Now I'm in a whole new place, and the only person I know is somebody at your job, or maybe another family member that we have there. But you need community. We needed community.
We can see that right now. With the coronavirus. Exactly. It's like, oh my God, I want some friends to come. I just want to go. And you got to keep saying, and I can't. And I can't. I want to go see my sister-in-law. I can't. They got a travel ban. I can't go you can't. And so it's happening whether we like it or not.
It's happening.
Right now.
Right now.
It's
happening.
So.
Especially happening to those that are really, 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 really respecting the 6 feet, the mask, the social distancing, things like that. We know a lot of America now are over it. They're like, man, please, I'm done with that. But for those that are still really respecting it, and especially for those that have health conditions, older people, stuff like that, you really gotta respect it. You know, I was just listening to a guy who his parents had came to visit him in March, and this July now they're just now leaving. They just stayed.
Oh wow!
This whole time.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. But I mean, he lives in a really big house.
Okay.
And, they were happy to see their grandkids.
If I had grandkids, they don't have to ever leave. I don't know when that day's gonna happen, but yeah.
Anybody close to us is having a new baby or something like that, and you're living around us, and your parents, biological parents, are not around. Maybe they live out of town or whatever. Then we'll be your grandparents. We'll be your in-town grandparents.
Something. I tried to be it to one of my little babies, Jessie, and she don't like me.
Because she's scared.
I was like, oh, when she's born, that's going to be my baby. And I'm a this. She's like, she's still. And I'm like, oh, my
wife loves people, and she loves children, but she don't know how to joke with children. So she's scared, little Jessie. So it'll be okay. I think Jessie's starting to warm.
I'm still wounded and scarred from that.
She's starting to warm to you. So
she is not.
That's good. So today, again, we focused on unfaithfulness and moving. All right. These are just two the 10 stresses that we're talking about. No, but I mean, I don't want to have to do a certain amount of time because I want to spend a healthy amount of time on the ones that we need to spend them on. Because I want to go in depth when we talk about this, especially that unfaithfulness. You know, really, you could talk about unfaithfulness just in
someone. Julian said, how do you get someone to change their priorities if you allow it to go on for so long?
Man, that is such a good question. Thank you so much, Ms. Carter, for asking that question. Yeah. You know what? I can't tell you that I have the drop dead single answer. But one of the ways you get somebody to change is sometimes, especially if you're married to them, is to get them to listen to somebody else. I'm serious.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Because sometimes we
can say marriages if women realize right now that somebody else may tell their husband something and they'll do it, but they won't do it. Just face it and have a good marriage, because that's just reality.
Yeah. Just let some when they're close by and they turn something on that you're listening to, watching, that they can hear. And let them. They're gonna listen. They're gonna tune in and they're gonna listen and see what you're listening to, and let somebody else tell them how devastating it is to them. And hopefully, if you're the other person, you are sharing with them that how important it is to you that you're not a priority to them. One of our. I'm not gonna say who it is because some people might put it together, but someone that's close to us that's young recently just said, you know what? Until she said it this way, until she said, I don't feel like I'm number one. Yeah. He said, I didn't get it.
And now he's broken, like, oh my God, you are number one.
But when she said that she don't feel like she's number one, I'm like, whoa. No, because you are number one to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't want you to feel like that.
Yeah, and sometimes silence is not helping you. You have to really say to somebody, because sometimes they don't even know.
Right.
You know, you have to say.
You just get angry.
Yeah,
you act funny.
Yeah.
But you're not having real conversation.
And don't say you. Say, this is how it's making me feel.
Right.
And it's really hurting my feelings.
I feel like I'm not. Don't say I'm not number one to you.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Say
The conversation's already
I don't feel like I'm number one to you.
Yeah.
See, you can't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
But if you say you're not number one to me, they may think you are.
Yeah.
How can they think? How can they think that? They don't do this. They don't do this. In their mind, their thinking might be, the reason I go to work and bring home this money and pay these bills is because of you, number one. Mm-hmm. To you, you're like, no, you should do that even if I wasn't.
I remember one time back in our early stages.
But some people don't think like that.
When you was like, I do this, or whatever. And I remember in men's conference, they put them in different categories. Just because you're a good father don't make you a good husband.
Right.
Just because you go to work and pay the bills. You're a provider doesn't make you a good husband, because those are all different categories. Yep. And if I wasn't in the picture, he would still be a good provider, or he would pay his bill, do all of that on time, and he would do certain things, but that doesn't make him a good husband, even though you are. But I'm just saying, sometimes men think and put everything in one pot. Right. And you can't put it in all one pot.
Well, the main, and I'm glad you used that, because the main pot they're thinking in that moment is, I do love you. Mm-hmm. But what actions are you doing that show? It doesn't take a lot of money to pay attention.
No, it doesn't.
Newsflash.
That was good.
Newsflash. It doesn't take a lot of money to sit together and spend some time.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot of money to have a conversation.
Nope.
But
it's all free.
That's all free. But it takes some heart.
Yeah.
It takes a connection.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think we can drop the mic on that one. We can roll up out of here.
What Stacey said, money and marriage, separate segment for your viewers, please.
Money and marriage. Ooh, Stacey, yeah. That's a serious topic, money and marriage, because listen, Stacey, you gotta know we've been counseling for 20 years now, and a large majority of the people that we counsel have money problems. Well, money problems in the sense that mismanaging.
Yes.
Not that they don't make money.
Yeah. Most people can survive and live, but they don't even know where it's going.
Yeah, they don't know where it's going.
And things like that. And then another person was like, what if one person wants counseling and the other don't? Mostly every couple who end up to us, only one of them wanted counseling in the beginning. Right. And then once they get there, and then we find more men are very prideful for the reason they don't come. Instead of thinking that they're saving their family and it's important, they think about what they're protecting. And you're not protecting anything, but they're getting ready to leave you.
And most men don't want counseling until she says she's ready to leave.
Or she's left.
Yeah. All of a sudden, now you want
counseling. You want counseling. It was like she was warning you, warning, signs were coming.
And if you haven't had a good counselor, don't give up on counseling. If you had a shady mechanic that messed up your car, you're not going to give up on getting your car fixed.
Yeah, you got a hole in your mouth. Somebody hurt you. You're going to find a business that don't hurt you.
Find a good one. Yeah. So if you've had marriage counseling that wasn't good, don't give up on marriage counseling. Just give up on that one.
Yeah.
Find a good.
Yeah. Don't give up on your husband or your wife.
No, don't give up.
So get the help that you need, and just pride. That's the only thing that can separate it.
The only thing that can separate it. Man, it's been so fun. I love doing this show so much. I guess we're going to see them next Friday night. Or will we? We'll see. Next Friday night. Next Friday may be we may do a different type of show.
Yeah.
We may do a hit it and quit it show. In marriage, sometimes you got quickies and stuff like that, right? And so it's okay for us for people to really do that stuff, but it's not okay to talk about it.
No, it is. And so I don't know how we could ever hit and quit this. Because we're so passionate about it, and the moment we get on the subject, we'll look up and it'll be 40 minutes. So we'll never hit it and quit it.
But we may have a graduation. We may have to go out of town. We got a lot going on next Friday,
Yeah.
so we'll see what we can do.
And then hit us up and let us know if Fridays are still good, because people now are back out and doing life or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe a Sunday or Monday night or something. But
Yeah. But that's what we try to do it early enough
Yeah.
too. But yeah, we'll go
Some
with
people are not home.
what people are saying. But again, this has been all the way live with the Love Byrds. I'm one half of the dynamic duo, go by the name of Dr. James Byrd. My lovely and talented, beautiful, anointed wife, she goes by the name of
Dr. Angel Byrd.
And together we are
The Love Byrds.
And we'll see you next week.
Oh, Jesus, help this man.
Anybody got a prescription? Yeah, for this love pain. Anybody got